All right, Minnesota OKC game 3. I don't have much to say about it. OKC got blown out, and I'll tell you like this from my experience watching basketball. I think it was almost better that OKC lost this way than if they lost in a closer game, a game that was a nail biter or something like that. In my opinion, OKC is not that bad, and Minnesota is not that good. So, from the OKC perspective, take it, ball it up, throw it in the trash, right? Come out the next game and play better. I seriously doubt Minnesota is able to shoot that well again. So, you lost the game, so what, right? I think that's the perspective OKC has to take it from. For this particular video, I'm not going into any stats or any technical details or anything like that. I'm just giving you the observations that I got from the game. So, from OKC's perspective, throw the game out the window. There is one thing that they may have to be concerned about, and I'm going to let you know by talking about Minnesota's perspective. Minnesota has to know that they're not going to shoot that well in game 2. In game 4. They're not going to shoot that well. I am curious to see whether or not Minnesota decides that their three-point shooting is the direction they want to go, because it's such an easy trap that teams fall into nowadays. They shoot three-pointers, they make them one game, or they make them one half, and then the next game or the next half, they try to continue that, and it often doesn't work. Three-pointers defend themselves, right? The average is going to be at best 45-50%. On a really good, exceptional game, the exception to the rule game, you might shoot 55-60%, but so the biggest thing that I'll be looking for is on the Minnesota side, and it's what OKC is going to have to watch out for if Minnesota figures this out. There were parts of game 3, where Minnesota just looked like the bigger, more physical, more mature. When I say more mature, I mean physically, right? Just more mature, tougher. They just look that part in different aspects of that game. Of game 3, and I'm curious to see if they come out and they go the 3-point route, because there was a second where Minnesota was shooting threes and making damn near everything, and that is a trap. It's a trap that I watch my Lakers fall into all the time. And once a team falls into that trap, man, it's hard to get yourself out of it. I keep saying, it's December 31st, 2024. When you go back to work on January 3rd, let's say, and you got to write a date, what are the chances you write 2024? Right? Because it takes your mind a second to get out of that. To get out of that mode that you were in. A game is not a year. A game is not, writing down a date. There are aspects of that I repeatedly watch teams fall into, where they get in that three-point shooting mode, and it's like, okay, you guys aren't making them. Why don't you just stop shooting threes? Because you can't. You might be able to stop shooting threes 6 minutes from now. Maybe not. Right? And then even after you stop shooting 6 minutes from now, whatever offense that you're used to playing in, it's not a part of your repertoire right that second. And I think that if Minnesota starts out shooting threes like dumbasses in game 4, they will lose game 4 for sure. They might lose it anyway, but they'll lose it for sure. If they come out and they establish that physical, bigger nature, right? I think they have a good chance to win game 4. I said Minnesota was going to win this series in 6 or 7. I'm not so sure about that anymore. I'm still not sold on OKC, though. I get it. Their record is what their record was, and the way the playoffs are playing out, it reflects what OKC's record was. All fairness to OKC, I did not watch enough of them this year. right? I'm just going by what I see in these playoffs. And in these playoffs, you know, the game has gotten so physical, and you can play into OKC's hands, right? And we saw Minnesota do that in game, I want to say game 1. Game 1. Minnesota got blown out, but they started out relatively well because their 3-pointers were falling. But those 3-pointers are fool's gold. You could take threes, but it has to be incorporated into your offense. It can't be, you know, I'm 2 dribbles past half court, I'm going to pull a 3 with 15 seconds left on the shot clock. Or I'm on a fast break, and I'm going to go to the wings and shoot a 3. Yo, dude, threes defend themselves. When they go in, yeah, it's wonderful. But even then, even when they go in, right, it's almost like heroin or crack or some shit, right? It's like you're trying to chase that high that you're never going to get to. You know, you're going to, at max, even on wide open 3-pointers, you're going to shoot 50%, right? While you're shooting 100% on layups and 75 to 80% on free throws. You know, and if Minnesota does not take advantage of their size, Naz Reid, Julius Randle, Rudy Gobert, right? Jaden McDaniels, if they don't take advantage of their size, they do not win this series. Period, point blank. OKC has proven through the regular season that they are that good. That if you don't play to your strengths, you will lose. And that's where that's the difference between a blowout series and a competitive series. And this last game, ball it up, throw it in the trash, man. It don't mean anything. You know, those type of games happen. The interesting game is going to be Game 4. Game 4 is going to be the tail of the tape for this series, in my opinion. If it gets to 2-2, right? If it's 3-1, it's over. It's over. But if it gets to 2-2, the competitive nature of the series, I'll put it like this, forget 2-2. The competitive nature of this series falls on Minnesota. If Minnesota plays a physical, tough, rebounding, offensive rebounding, if they emphasize that stuff, it's a competitive series at the least. If they do not emphasize that stuff, OKC is going to win in 5 games. Yep. Anyway, that's where I stand on OKC, Minnesota. Those were my observations after Game 3. I really don't have much. I usually make a 15-20 minute long video. It's not that much to talk about regarding that game. So, hey, I look forward to Game 4. I hope Minnesota wins because I want to see more basketball. I want to see a competitive series. So I hope they win Game 4. You know, but I really have no dog in this fight, right? I got no horse in this race. So I just want to see good competitive basketball. Anyway, please like and subscribe.